months away before we'll see Carolina back on the basketball court. But we are going to find out in the short term and the long term if Carolina did make the right move in hiring Hubert Davis as the 19th head coach of Carolina basketball. With that, guys, we are going to get out of here for the first edition of the Four Corners podcast. I know there are other news and nuggets around Carolina basketball that we didn't touch on in this podcast. That'll be the next episode where we touch on some of the stuff regarding Carolina's roster makeup as of right now. Before we let you go, talk to you guys about the website, HeelToughBlog.com. I actually heard that in the intro of the podcast, where that's where you can go to the first to find the Four Corners podcast. But on the website, man, we've had you covered with all the basketball news coming out of Chapel Hill in the last week or so. Go back and read everything up about Hubert Davis being hired, the assistant head coaches he should look at, the decision to not retain Kendall Marshall, Walker Miller or Armando Bacot's decision to enter the NBA draft without an agent, Walker Kessler on potentially coming back to Carolina. Carolina's also lost Garrison Brooks to the portal, and today they landed Justin McCoy from the portal. So get all that great basketball coverage on HeelToughBlog.com. We also got some football news coming up out for you guys as well. There's a couple of scouting reports available for you guys. We're also getting you ready for the spring game as we're less than 2 weeks away from the scrimmage, which me and Anthony will be actually in attendance for April 24th in Chapel Hill. And lastly, we encourage you guys, like we do with the Royce Boys podcast, to rate, review, and ultimately subscribe to the podcast. You can find us on every major podcasting feed, most notably Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Podcasts. Rate me, rate Anthony, review the podcast, but we want you guys to subscribe that we get every new episode of the Four Corners podcast right there in your podcast library. Well, with that, I would like Anthony for taking some time to co-host with me. I want to thank you guys for listening, and as always, go Tar Heels.